A spectacular 65-degree fall day on the campus of Notre Dame as the Irish welcome NC State to Notre Dame Stadium for the second of a three-game homestand. And after the 0-2 start, Irish fans have watched their team win 3 straight to continue to rise in the rankings at number 16. Jeremiah Love continues to be one of the most explosive backs in the country with 9 touchdowns through his first 5 games this season. Meanwhile, it's just the second trip ever for the Wolfpack to Notre Dame Stadium, which comes in with a 4-2 record in hopes of upsetting the Irish and derailing their playoff run. Dan Hicks back with Jason Garrett. Zora Stevenson will be joining us in just a moment. Coach, it was really the Notre Dame offense which seemed to steal the show in the early part of the season, but lo and behold, the defense is catching up.
You know, Hicksy, the Irish defense is back. They had their best performance of the year last week against Boise State. They held the Broncos to 7 points. They took the ball away 4 times. 2 of those takeaways by their sophomore cornerback, Leonard Moore. He's one of the best in the country. He'd been out for a couple weeks with an ankle injury. His presence was felt. They were really sticky in coverage. It was hard to find places to throw the ball, and that pass rush got home. They're going to be looking for more of the same from that today.
Speaking of Notre Dame's defense, well, they will have to contend with 2 main characters for the Wolfpack. The other quarterback named CJ, I'm talking about CJ Bailey, who stands 6'6", and a guy, a running back, aptly named Hollywood. He's a superstar for NC State.
He sure is. CJ Bailey is 6'6", and he's really, really talented. He can throw the ball from the pocket. He makes a ton of plays with his feet out in space, and he's going to be looking for that guy, Hollywood Smothers, all day long, both as a runner and as a receiver. This guy's dynamic. Notre Dame defense better be ready to tackle number 3. This guy's something else.
Yeah, Smothers comes into the ball game second in the country with 693 yards rushing, so he is a focal point of the Notre Dame defense today as they're coming down, tapping that iconic sign and getting ready to try to put together another victory in front of this home crowd. 77,000 sellout here as Marcus Freeman gets ready to lead the charge once again. And here come the Irish. Looking to make it 4 victories in a row after the 0-2 start. In the meantime, NC State with a big opportunity today to take down the 16th ranked Irish. And Zora Stevenson is standing by with the Irish head coach.
Coach, you all have won the last 3 by 21 plus, and you've said there's some momentum around here. How have you all worked to keep it going?
Well, you know, I said, as you look back, you'll say we've had momentum. There's confidence built off of having success, but this is about this opportunity. What happened the last 2-3 weeks, more than anything, it's about this one. And I remind them about the first 2 weeks. That's what we need to remember. Let's remember the first 2 weeks.
NC State has a running back so exciting, they call him Hollywood. What will it take to slow him down?
We got to pursue. We got to gang tackle. We got to hit him, right? He's going to make some guys miss. But when we get there, we got to be violent and make sure that it takes a toll on him. And we got to try to get the ball out. But he's a good player. He's going to give us a challenge. But our guys are ready for this one.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
So the mission remains the same for Freeman and Notre Dame. Wait a minute, who's that guy rooting for? Notre Dame, NC State kickoff coming your way next. Last 2 games at Notre Dame Stadium have been near record high temperatures in the mid-80s, so it definitely feels a lot more like football weather as this place of 77,000 plus is about to fire up the latest Notre Dame football team in its quest for victory number 4 in a row. Notre Dame does have its place kicker Noah Burnett back, but he will not kick off. Those duties will continue to be done by Eric Schmidt. the freshman from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Notre Dame won the toss, deferred, so the Wolfpack gets its hands on the ball first. As you look at Duke Scott, number 4, ready for the Schmidt kick to get things going. So here we go from South Bend. Schmidt hasn't had a kickoff returned. He's been deep into the end zone, but Scott takes it out this time, and he is banged up by a number of blue jerseys just across the 15-yard line.
Marcus Freeman talked about tackling. Let's set the tone on the opening kickoff. We were getting a little bored with all these touchbacks. His Irish cover team, they were chomping at the bit.
That's Kahanu Kia, who laid in there to the returner. As you look at C.J. Bailey, 6'6". This guy, one of the most accurate passers in the country at nearly 75%. And he's got a lot of weapons through the air and on the ground, mainly Hollywood Smothers, number 3, who's one of the top running backs in the country. So North Carolina State beginning things at their own 18, and they go to Hollywood, who spins his way close to the 24-yard line before Jason Onye brings him down after a gain of 5. So you just saw Hollywood Smothers, the featured back, second in the country in yards, but he also has a number of receptions. So he is dangerous through the air and on the ground. It's an experienced offense up front. Jacarius Peak, the best of the linemen at the left tackle position. Second down and 5 for the Wolfpack. Empty set for C.J. Bailey. And his first pass will never happen because the pressure came through with Boubacar Traore leading the Notre Dame charge.
Hey, we talked in the open about the coverage. This is in the back end. The cover guys, Dallas Golden in the slot, Christian Gray outside, not a lot of places to throw the ball. And then here they go. That allows this pass rush some time to get home. That guy right there, Boubacar Traore, been showing up.
Big loss. Brings up third down and long. Call it 14. And Bailey's going to hand it off. He's trying to get Hollywood Smothers to get something out of it, but he reverses his field and maybe gets a yard. And so that'll bring up fourth down in the punting unit for NC State. Drayk Bown providing the pressure, and that has been the big thing why Notre Dame's defense has gotten so better in the last few weeks. Pressure up front.
Really good start by this Notre Dame defense. Pressure on the quarterback, and you can see the emphasis on swarming the ball carrier. Don't let Smothers get outside. A lot of gold hats to the ball.
So it's a good chance for Notre Dame to get good field position as Jordan Faison awaits at his own 48. The kick by Caden Noonkester. Turns it over. Faison calls for a fair catch at about the 42-yard line. So the defense does its job for Notre Dame, and now it is C.J. Carr and company's turn to see if they can keep things rolling. Carr, just a 20-year-old redshirt freshman, but all the coaches and the players will tell you that he, in this short period of time, has become the undisputed leader of this Notre Dame offense. And he's got all sorts of weapons. Of course, the big 1-2 punch with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, but he's proven to be a very accurate passer and very poised. And C.J. will look left, goes right, hangs in, plenty of time. Wide open is Pauling for a huge gain down to the 25-yard line of NC State.
Notre Dame loves dashing the quarterback. You'll see C.J. here. He's going to come out here. Pauling's going to be in the slot and just run a corner route. There's a lot of injuries in this North Carolina State secondary. Boy, you can't let that guy be wide open like that. A great start for Notre Dame on defense. A huge play offensively. They're knocking on the door.
Gain of 33 for Pauling, his longest reception of the year. Jeremiah Love looking for a hole on the left side. Not much going there, but all the coaches told us, Jason, that if we cannot stop Notre Dame's run, we have no chance. That's the big theme for them and Coach Dave Doran.
And I think we saw that on the first play when they made the big play to Pauling. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage, so they're going to make the redshirt freshman quarterback C.J. Carr beat him.
Doran in his 13th season at NC State, the winningest coach in school history. Gain of 2 for Love. 2nd down and 8. Carr to the air again. Near side. Pass complete. And it's Pauling again. Pauling inside the 5. 1st and goal, Notre Dame.
Again, this is a matchup that Notre Dame wants to exploit. They're banged up in the secondary. This is Pauling against Jackson Vick. He runs up, he runs out. It's pretty darn simple. And then the run after the catch. So as a quarterback-friendly guy, the transfer from Wisconsin, you can tell C.J. Carr loves throwing this guy the ball. He's off to a heck of a start. Offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock at Notre Dame has got so many options. That play sheet, so many options. 1st and goal. And Carr will give it to Love. Love looked like he was going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage and just gets it back to the 5-yard line, so no gain. Big emphasis for North Carolina State is going to be to set the edge to the defense. Don't let these guys get all the way out. Put them back into the meat grinder. Again, the emphasis to keep your outside arm free. Talk about it all week long. Don't let Jeremiah Love get to the edge. NC State doing a good job of that early on. 2nd down and goal on the opening drive for Notre Dame. Love looking, hurdling, gets down to about the 2-yard line. That signature leap by Love gets 3 yards that time before Ronnie Royal III got him. You know, Jeremiah Love, he loves to leap over people. He thinks these secondary guys are going to go low, so he hurdles a lot, maybe too much. But you call that the meat grinder. Turn him back inside. Turn him back to the meat grinder, and I'll tell you what, he's earning his money inside. This NC State defense coming after him. Ball at the 2, 3rd and goal, double tight end formation with Love behind Carr. They get it to Love. Another touchdown for Jeremiah. Love the patience by Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. Just keep hammering. Watch these guys knock them off the ball. Double teams at the point of attack, removal. You knock 44 out of there, you knock 54 out of there, and there he is. Can't give that guy all that space. Love the patience to run it, and run it one more time once you get down in there close. 10th touchdown of the season for Love. And this is Noah Burnett, who's back after missing the Boise State game last week. He's been enduring a continued hip injury. We should see him on field goal attempts if necessary, but he's back, and he makes it 7-0 Notre Dame. So a couple of big gains through the air by Pauling, but then it's Jeremiah Love with another touchdown to put the Irish up early. Fans posing with the iconic sign there. That is greatness right there. Notre Dame Stadium looking good from above and down on the ground, because that was a pretty flawless drive engineered by C.J. Carr and company. Yeah, the 2 big pass receptions by Pauling that went for 51 yards, and then you had Love taking it across. And so it's quickly 7-0 Notre Dame as Duke Scott awaits the latest Schmidt kick. And he's going to down this one, so they'll come out to the 25-yard line. Dave Dorn said he knew he was in for a test. The first road game, he says, with real crowd noise. So they blared Irish rock music in practice that you hear in bars, he told us, at St. Patrick's Day to try to get his team ready for this atmosphere. And I asked him, I said, is it U2? He said, no, it's the real stuff. I'm like, what do you mean the real stuff? He goes, it's Irish music you hate. He was just trying to get his team in the mood of what they would be subjected to here. So here is C.J. Bailey after the last opening drive kind of went backwards. So he's going to hand off to Hollywood Smothers. And Smothers is going to get a gain of about 5, bring up 2nd down and 5. When you get off to a start like this, if you're NC State, Kurt Roper's their offensive coordinator, you just want to quiet the game down. You had 3 and out. Notre Dame goes right down the field. You know, eliminate the negative plays, get the ball to your best player, Smothers, and just try to tone this defensive line down a little bit. Try to get in some sort of rhythm. So they got a Hollywood again. He's a slippery kind of back. Not the fastest guy, but he's just kind of hard to bring down. Yeah, he is hard to tackle. And that's line 1 with a running back, right? I mean, trying to get the guy down. And he's shifty, he spins, he churns. He's always falling forward. This is a big down right here for NC State. Keeping this drive alive. They got 3rd and 4. Notre Dame loves to play man-to-man coverage. Don't be surprised if they bring a little pressure along with it.
Bailey rolling to his right, looking for the first down. Incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and 4.
I like how they move the quarterback outside. And it's just an out route, and we talked about this a lot last week when they played Boise State. If NC State wants to come into Notre Dame Stadium and knock off this team, they have to make those plays.
You saw Dallas Golden on the coverage there of Keenan Jackson. Golden, a key defensive player today because Devontae Smith is out again for Chris Ash's defense. So the freshman getting some more reps. Faison awaiting this punt, which is short, lands at the 40, but does take an NC State bounce down to the Notre Dame 30-yard line. Just a 34-yard punt, but we're going to check in with the studio for our first game break.
Dan and Jason, Ole Miss has Georgia next week, so a little look-ahead spot, asleep at the wheel. Well, Washington State has hung around. Zevi Eckhouse to Tony Freeman. Cougars within 3. Ole Miss with the ball trying to stave off the Cougars.
Good to hear the enthusiastic tones of John Fanta. He's just getting started, folks.
No doubt.
Big day in college football as Notre Dame continues to try and dig its way out of that 0-2 hole. The losses to Miami, Texas A&M to start. 3 wins in a row. And now with its second offensive series, quick drop and a quick pass complete to Eli Raridon, C.J. Carr's tight end. Gain of just 1.
When Notre Dame is at its best on offense, they just attack the defense a lot of different ways. And we saw that in the first drive. Drop back pass, move the quarterback, quick game, deeper game, run the ball with Love. That's what they're trying to do here. They love to use Love both as a runner and as a receiver.
NC State trying to bring pressure, but C.J. Carr going for another big one, and guess who? Will Pauling with another huge game.
Hey, it starts up front. Watch these guys. C.J. Carr can throw, but he always seems to have a clean pocket, and there's no doubt they're trying to get after who's ever guarding Will Pauling. It's out and it's up. It's that inside fade. When he gets in that slot situation, they love the matchup. This time it was on Ronnie Royal. He beat him by 5 yards. C.J. put it on him.
Pauling with some huge chunk receptions. That one good for 42. So on 1st and 10, on the ground to Love. Let's check in with Zora.
Well, Dan, there's rumblings that Will Pauling spends so much time at the Notre Dame football facility, he sleeps there sometimes. Now, Pauling wouldn't confirm or deny the rumors in our chat this week. He told me, I just like being there. The captain said, I'm trying to make the most of this last year.
Yeah, Zora, I think they call him the Goog Rat because he spends so much time there. But he has been a huge addition, the transfer from Wisconsin and Cincinnati. Pauling already has 3 catches for 93 yards. Whistles come in with a flag thrown just before Carr got it off. Might be on Notre Dame.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 7, 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Yeah, Ty Washington coming in motion here. Got a little anxious coming back inside.
Whoops.
Slipped down a little bit. Easy one to call. You know, talking about Pauling, transfers from Wisconsin, had been with the coaching staff at Cincinnati prior to that, and the guy gets named as a captain. Says a lot about him.
Yep, that's all you need to know about Pauling. It's been the Pauling show from C.J. Carr, and now on 2nd and 13, Jeremiah Love juking his way for a few close to the 34-yard line. Kenny Soares Jr. on the coverage for North Carolina State.
Excuse me, Hicksy. This is the big question for NC State on defense. Elliott, the defensive coordinator, they big emphasis on stopping the run, but you're leaving these DBs by themselves a lot in man-to-man coverage. The question is, can they hold up?
We got Jeremiah Love split out to the far side. You see him in motion there as a timeout was called. And that's one of the things that the NC State defensive coaches feared, was trying to handle Love not only up the middle, but when he splits out. Let's get another game break with John.
Well, guys, this was a heck of a game out at Missouri. Alabama trying to seal up the win with a stop. Well, Dijon Lee Jr. is there for the interception. In the world of week 1 overreactions, how about Kalen DeVore coming off the loss to Florida State, Dan and Jason? The Tide have won 5 in a row.
Thanks, John. Yeah, the sky was falling in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Bama has got it rolling.
How good is Fanta, by the way? He's pretty good, right?
He's a lot of fun. he's built for college sports, I'll tell you that.
No doubt.
So you saw Love split out, and that was what Doran and then their defensive coordinator, DJ Elliott, was telling us. Man, he is a handful on 3rd and 10. He's next to Carr, and Carr goes to Faison. Faison, his favorite receiver coming into the game, is close to a first down.
I think he made it. 3rd and 10, they go quick screen to Faison. Just love getting the ball in this guy's hands. Get those big linemen out in front. C.J. Carr calls them golden touch. Every time you're throwing the ball, good things happen. And excellent body control, well documented on the national championship lacrosse team. Just good things happen when 6 has it.
Faison coming into the game had 18 catches in the last 3 games. That one good for the first down. So Carr finds somebody other than Pauling for the first time. And this time Love trying to pick his way around the left side, bounces it out like he does usually. And close to the 12-yard line goes Jeremiah Love.
Attack in different ways. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, one of the best in the country. And he's got a good offensive team with a lot of talent. It starts up front, but he knows how to use his weapons and put his players in a good situation. Good balance between run and pass. Attacking this NC State defense a lot of different ways. They're on their heels.
2nd down and 6. And Love almost stopped at the line of scrimmage, but then somehow he gets it down close to the 6-yard line for another first down, perhaps.
Huge emphasis coming into this game for NC State is to tackle. They have not been a good tackling team so far, and that's not going to be on the clinic reel right there. They miss one in the backfield. It's an arm tackle. It's another arm tackle. And then Love is falling forward. So they got to get that right, or it's going to be a long afternoon for the Wolfpack here in South Bend.
What did Coach Doran say? If we just tackle with our shoulders, we're going to look like clowns, like all the rest of the people that just try to tackle Love with the shoulders. He is hard to wrap up, and here he is trying to get that first down.
I don't think he got it.
Might be short. And he's just short with that spot, it appears.
I don't think there's a decision here for Marcus Freeman. He's going to go for it. And I think he's going to run it one more time. So his defensive line for NC State is pretty stout. Notre Dame offensive line has knocked him off the ball a little bit. There's going to be a lot of guys committed to the line of scrimmage.
The ruling on the field of the runner being short of the line to gain is under further review.
They're going to take a look at where Love exactly ended up here. It's 4th and inches. Take a look at this spot. Well, it appeared he was very close.
I think it's hard to overturn that. He's trying to get to the 6-yard line. I'm not so sure we're going to have a good view of the ball beyond the 6. I'd be shocked if they overturned it.
That is Brandon Cleveland and company up front trying to push Love back.
How strong is Jeremiah Love, though? Look to knock this defensive lineman Cleveland back. Cleveland's 315 pounds. You kidding me?
Love had to leave the game for a short time last week. Tweaked his knee a little bit. Kind of scared everybody at Notre Dame Stadium. He said he just felt it a little bit awkward. Bounced back.
Review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's 4th down.
Yep, so 4th down and inches. And speaking of last week's game, they had a 4th and goal, Notre Dame did, right? And they did the Wildcat to Jeremiah Love, and things didn't exactly work out the way Denbrock had hoped.
Well, Hicksy, here's what I'm betting you right now. I'll bet you right now they're not going to use the Wildcat here.
I'm just teeing you up. I'm teeing you up.
They're going to turn around and hand it to number 4. They're going to do a quarterback sneak. They're not going to get tricky. They're going to challenge their big guys up front to go make 6 inches.
Yeah, Denbrock was telling us in our meeting yesterday. He goes, man, I should have taken a timeout there. We were all out of whack. That was a mess.
That's what coaches do.
Yep.
They beat themselves up for weeks over calls like that.
So now, what is in the play call here on 4th and inches?
Hand it to 4.
Yep. Oh. Carr's going to roll out. He's being pursued, and he's going out of bounds, and that is it. Wolfpack takes over, so it's another 4th down that doesn't go Notre Dame's way. There was a couple of those situations last week. Carr scrambling out of real estate, and NC State's got the ball after a loss of 10.
Hey, let's take a look at that 4th down. It was 4th and inches. I was shocked they didn't run in here. They go sprint out, and I want you to watch this guy right here. This is Kean Sloan. It's an out route to Pauling in the slot, and he runs up underneath the route. There's no place for C.J. Carr to throw it. The rest of the defense swarms. Notre Dame, wow. Second week in a row, not converting a 4th and short down in the red zone early on in the ball game.
Comes up with nothing. And now it is NC State from its own 17-yard line. Notre Dame rolling up the yards, but just 7 points so far to show for it. Bailey going deep downfield, taking a shot to his tight end, Justin Joly, who might be the best receiver that Bailey has. Joly is one of those tight ends who's got NFL type of ability.
Yeah, there are some weapons here on this NC State offense, starting with the quarterback. We talked about Smothers, and that guy right there, Justin Joly, he's a mismatch type player. So look for C.J. Bailey to try to find him throughout the ball game, particularly on the backside of formations.
Bailey's going to go to the air again to Smothers, and Smothers is smothered by Drayk Bown. No gain.
Yeah, big point of emphasis here. This is Drayk Bown, the guy in the middle, the leader of this Irish defense, goes over the top. It's a rub route in the flat. Huge emphasis on tackling Hollywood Smothers. Excellent job there. That one might go on the reel. 3rd and long.
The captain and the defensive leader, Drayk Bown, helping to bring up a 3rd down and 9. Bailey's got some pressure. Golden was coming in on it, but he gets rid of it, and he's got a 1st down. Nice play to Duke Scott on a critical 3rd down call, gain of 16.
It sure was. You called it. Dallas Golden pressure off the slot. C.J. Bailey, here comes the pressure. C.J. Bailey able to get the ball out to Duke Scott before he gets there. And watch him split the Notre Dame defenders and make the 1st.
Bailey trying to find some rhythm now. That one behind his receiver, incomplete. Bring up 2nd down and 10. That was intended for Noah Rogers, as Bailey will spread it around to a number of wide receivers in addition to the tight end Joly.
You get a little sense that NC State wants to open this thing up a little bit. They don't want to bang their head against the wall, trying to run the ball against this Irish front. Get the ball out of Bailey's hand quickly, see if they can get a little momentum going.
There's the 1st down line, brought to you by Allstate. Just about to the 43-yard line is where Bailey needs to get to. This pass intended for Keenan Jackson, incomplete. As Bailey, who came into this game, as we mentioned, 75% accuracy, is just working on 2 for 6 so far.
Well, this is what we saw last week. There's Notre Dame coverage so much better than it's been, and that's the true freshman. Dallas Golden playing in the slot. Tell you what, the guy stepped up. He's an excellent cover guy. Looks like we have an injured player down there.
Appears that it's the right guard, Kamen Smith, being attended to. Back in a moment. So we got a big 3rd down coming up here for NC State. By the way, the injured player was Anthony Carter, who was helped off the field. Kamen Smith is now in his position at the left guard spot. Bailey looking for the 1st down, and it's very close. It was complete to Keenan Jackson. It appears they're spotting it just short of the line to gain. Again, Golden was on the coverage.
Yeah, I don't think there's a decision here. Doran's going to go for this. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Looks like he's bringing some big people in there. And again, that's a matchup that NC State wants to exploit. A freshman, Dallas Golden, in the slot on Keenan Jackson, gives him a chance here.
And they've got a short yardage quarterback, Coach. Will Wilson, who has come into the game. He's been very successful on these plays, and there he is trying to get the first down, and he does. He has converted for first downs or touchdowns now on 9 of the 12 times that he's rushed the ball this season.
He's really good at it. They also have a couple tight ends who are absolutely huge. So they bring him in, they bring in their short yardage quarterback, they bring in their tight ends who are like tackles, and they hammer this Notre Dame defensive front to keep the drive alive.
So the backup quarterback, the short yardage guy, Will Wilson, does his job. And it's a fresh set of downs for CJ Bailey and company. And on the ground is Smothers for a gain of maybe 2 or 3. That could be the last play of the opening quarter as Jaden Osbury makes the tackle.
They're just trying to hang in there and get a little rhythm and keep a drive alive and run it and get the ball out of the quarterback's hands and just get some positive plays. So converting that 4th and short was big for them as we go to the end of this first quarter.
That is the
End of one at Notre Dame Stadium. The 16th ranked Irish out to a 7-0 lead. Could have been more. NC State hanging around after the first quarter from Notre Dame Stadium. Back with a second in a moment. That 4th down failure, Coach, a little reminiscent of last week as we brought up.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. They're moving the ball up and down the field. They're running it. They're throwing it. I just love the attack they have right now. You get in that situation, it's inches. It's 4th and inches. Like you said, last week they had a similar situation, and we thought they might have learned from it. I was surprised that Denbrock went sprint out. I would have hammered it with Jordan Love. I bet if they get in that situation, with Jeremiah Love, I bet they get that situation one more time, they're going to give it to number 4.
C.J. Carr, 5 of 5 today through the air. Love has been the main man on the ground. We've not yet seen Jadarian Price. But this is NC State with a 2nd and 8 from its own 46. C.J. Bailey, he'll run it from time to time. He's 6'6", big guy. Does have a knack for gaining some yardage on the ground. Just gets 2 right there.
Setting edges are themes now. Boubacar Traore set the edge. Don't let number 11 get out in space. Keep the outside shoulder free. Turn it back to the meat grinder. And these guys are chomping at the bit. 6'6". There's a lot of C.J. Bailey to hit.
Hollywood Smothers has nicknamed C.J. Bailey the baby giraffe. He only weighs about 205 pounds, goes to the air, tries to pick up the first down, and that is complete to Jolie. And there's an example of that talent that Jolie has. Gain of 6.
On both sides. Watch Bailey zip this ball in there. The coverage is pretty good by Schuler. Good hands catch. Jolie, 263 pounds. Making a hands catch like that, getting the feet down, it's impressive.
Jolie came into the game tied for 2nd among FBS tight ends with the most catches. A popular target for Bailey. Notre Dame trying to provide some pressure, but Bailey's going deep downfield with plenty of time, and it's complete. And that is Terrell Anderson for the touchdown. 45 yards.
Again, working on the slot inside. It's a double move. Trying to work on Dallas Golden, the true freshman. Anderson runs the out, up the sidelines. Bailey's on the money. Attacking the young guy in the slot. Golden made some good plays early. They haven't shied away. The Wolfpack's in this thing.
Kanoa Vineset to try to tack on the extra point and tie it at 7. After an 11-play, 83-yard, 4.5-minute drive, Vineset is good. Big strike from Bailey to Terrell Anderson. So all of a sudden we're tied at 7 as Anderson, the sophomore from Greensboro, North Carolina, just walks it in. Just the 5th meeting with Notre Dame through the years. Dave Doran's team tying it up at 7 apiece with a big strike to Terrell Anderson. Charlie Birtwistle's kick headed to Jadarian Price at the 1. And Price gets it out to about the 22, 23-yard. Let's go back to that touchdown to Anderson, Coach.
I love this call right here. Okay, this is Anderson here in the slot. He's going to run an out and up on Dallas Golden, the true freshman. We talked to the NC State coaches this week. Roper said, hey, let's get after the freshman. Let's see if he can guard us. They run an out route. They ran underneath, and now they go double move. It's man-to-man coverage. There's their secondary coach, Mike Mickens, talking to him. And then during the break, it looked like Dallas Golden went into the locker room. So we'll get a report on what that is. But NC State attacked him, and this ball game is tied.
And remember, they're without Devontae Smith, so we'll try to get word on why Dallas Golden's walking to the locker room. So Notre Dame starting off here with a little change. Jadarian Price gets his first carry from scrimmage, picks up the first down, brought down by Jackson Vick, who is a welcome newcomer back into the NC State defensive secondary.
And again, this starts up front. This Notre Dame offensive line coming off the ball. Watch how they push all of the defenders at NC State laterally to the side, giving Jadarian Price a crease, and he finds it.
Big gain of 20 for Price. C.J. Carr to the air on first down. That is complete to Malachi Fields, who has his first reception. We've got a flag in.
Holding. Offense number 24. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So that 16-yard gain for Fields comes back because of the hold by Price.
Yeah, Jadarian Price in protection here. They're going to bring a backer right down the pipe. That's Fordham. He gets on an edge, and then he just pulls him. I think it's a good call. And this is not what Notre Dame wants. They're at their best when they're running, throwing it, staying on schedule. Now they're behind the change. Important for C.J. Carr to just be deliberate here. You got 3 downs to make 20.
It was a laundry fest last week with Boise State. Both teams penalized for a lot. This is Price. Bouncing it out. That's what he does. And a good run by Jadarian Price after the hold. And we've been talking about setting the edge for NC State's defense. They didn't get it done that time.
They didn't do it. And this is what Jadarian Price does. He goes up into the line of scrimmage, and then he bounces, and he has sneaky quickness and speed to get to the edge. So set the edge and tackle. Not a good example there by this Wolfpack defense.
So Price already with a couple of rushes for 30 yards. They fake it to him over the middle. That was Carr who wanted Fields incomplete. 3rd and 10. Well, we mentioned tackling has been an issue at times, Coach, for that NC State defense. You see the yards allowed after contact, and we had a deep dive discussion about tackling yesterday in our meeting. We not only talked with the NC State defense about it, but we talked with Marcus Freeman, Chris Ash about it, the proper techniques. I mean, fundamentals, a big deal. Even bigger today as they try to stop these 2 big running backs from Notre Dame. That pass was underthrown, intended for Will Pauling. Jackson Vick again on the coverage.
Yeah, you know, it's that same matchup that Notre Dame's trying to exploit. Pauling in the slot. They love that inside fade working against Jackson Vick. And, you know, C.J. Carr a little bit wide with the throw. So credit NC State taking advantage of the holding penalty, the 1st and 20. The missed throw on 2nd down hurt them, and then they get off the field. They got a chance to get this ball back and go ahead in this game.
Terrell Anderson, who scored the touchdown, awaiting the James Rendell punt. It's kind of a low one, takes a bounce, and a nice field there by Anderson at about the 16-yard line. Kind of short hopped it like a shortstop. So 12:05 left in the opening half. We mentioned a beautiful fall day in South Bend, tied at 7. I want to clarify that was 14 Micah Gilbert who was walking to the locker room. Dallas Golden also wears the jersey 14.
The old double number thing in college football.
It can bite you at any moment.
It does. Love and Alsbury. I think about this every week.
You wake up with sweats in the middle of the night thinking about it. So here's the Wolfpack starting from its own 17 with a 1st and 10. And C.J. Bailey up, dropped there by Wesley Grimes. And earlier you saw Anthony Carter being helped off the field, the left guard for NC State. He is out for the rest of the game, so an injury up front for C.J. Bailey and company. And that is Kamen Smith, who we mentioned took over Carter's spot. So 2nd down and 10, C.J. Bailey with Smothers, and he gives it to Hollywood. And Hollywood trying to get untracked here after a bit of a slow start. He's got 4 100-yard games in the last 5 games. Notre Dame has not given up 100 yards to an opposing rusher all season.
And here we go. NC State's on the ball. We got a 3rd and 7 here. Again, Notre Dame loves to play man-to-man coverage, but the freshman, Dallas Golden, in the slot. Let's see if they go at him one more time.
Bailey going downfield. He's got the first down and a lot more. That is complete to Teddy Hoffman for a gain of 21. Big 3rd down conversion there for the Wolfpack.
Notre Dame brought some pressure and starts up front. This NC State offensive line stands in there, gives Bailey some time, and again, they're working that matchup. Okay, Teddy Hoffman one more time on Dallas Golden. A good throw and catch, keeping the drive alive.
Bailey starting to warm up here. At the 41, he's going to run it out. C.J. Bailey picks up some good yards. He's kind of a legend down in the South Florida area, Coach. Dave Doran, the NC State coach, went to one of his 3 state high school title games at Chaminade High School down there in Hollywood area. And C.J. told us earlier in the week that his high school teams lost just 2 games. He threw 116 touchdown passes, threw for more than 9,000 yards. And it also helps when you've got current Ohio State star Jeremiah Smith to throw to when you're in high school. He was one of C.J. Bailey's teammates. So Bailey slinging it out to Duke Scott for another nice game.
Can you imagine Bailey and Jeremiah Smith getting off the bus? There they are right there.
There
Look
they
at
are,
these 2
Chaminade.
guys.
Pretty nice duo there. 6'6" Bailey going to Jeremiah Smith. And look at these guys just have no chance against these 2.
That ball's like 80 yards in the air. He's 15 yards behind the defender.
There goes Jeremiah Smith. And C.J. Bailey hooked up with him a number of times.
That's high school football,
Yeah.
see? They're grown men.
1st and 10 for C.J. And he gets it out to Hollywood. Smothers is inside the 40-yard line. So this, an impressive drive going for NC State.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith talked about, hey, told him you better be on time with the ball. He said it was like playing with an NFL player when they were in high school. So that talent lifts all boats. What a combination.
2nd down and 3. Hollywood Smothers looking for the first down marker. He's going to be short, and flags come in as Josh Burnham was in on the stop of Smothers.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And that's on the veteran left tackle, Jacarius Peak.
Hey, you know, it's the same thing for NC State. You know, they have a good rhythm going, throwing, running the ball, getting the ball out in space to Hollywood Smothers. They have Notre Dame on their heels, but then you get the minus play. Same thing that happened in Notre Dame's offense. So if you can stay on schedule, both these offenses hard to beat. This is the situation Notre Dame defense wants to put C.J. Bailey in.
Passing down here on 2nd and 13. Looks left, goes right. Pass complete. And it is Justin Jolie for a gain of 3. That'll bring a 3rd down and 10.
If I'm Chris Ash, the Notre Dame defensive coordinator, I'm very cognizant of that matchup in the slot with Dallas Golden. 3 or 4 times in this ball game they've gone after him. I'd be careful of putting him in a man-to-man situation without any help. Trust me, C.J. Bailey's looking for 14.
They've got 3 stacked to the right of Bailey. He's going the other way. for a one-on-one matchup. Incomplete, as that was Drayk Bown in coverage of Hollywood Smothers, who was trying to get loose down the left side.
Yeah, this is what Hollywood Smothers can do for you. They just line them up outside. They take their middle linebacker and go guard him. It's man-to-man, and Smothers runs right past him. C.J. Bailey long on the throw. But like what Kurt Roper's doing, he's challenging the matchups in this Notre Dame defense. Put your best players on Notre Dame players where they're not real comfortable, going after Golden and Bowen.
Pretty nice job by Bowen, staying with the speedster Smothers down the sidelines, which brings in another punt here. Faison calling for the fair catch at the 10. Punt of 37 yards. Wolfpack, more than a 3-touchdown underdog to the Irish, tied up at 7. Notre Dame 7-7 as C.J. Carr back at the controls here. We've talked about it, if you listen to some of the early Notre Dame games this season, what a perfectionist C.J. Carr is. So nothing drove him more crazy last week than missing a couple passes. And he's that kind of guy the coaches say, give yourself a little grace, C.J. But C.J. wants no part of that. He is all business, a perfectionist who wants every play to go his way. Starts off on the ground here with Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, it's so funny. We talked to him yesterday in our production meeting, and we brought this very topic up about, you know, giving yourself grace, and he just kind of put his head down, started shaking. Hey, no grace, no grace. You can't miss those throws. And, you know, the best ones I've been around at that position, that's the same mentality they have. And his standard is high for himself. He wants greatness, and I think he can achieve it.
Flag comes in just before the snap.
False start. Offense number 54. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
And that's a little flinch by Anthony Knapp, the left tackle.
Just starts to lean. You typically flinch when you got the best rusher across from you. So Kean Sloan lines up over there, and all of a sudden Knapp wants to get out of his stance maybe a little quicker than he should.
Second down and 10. Saw Jadarian Price previous series. Jeremiah Love back in there. And they give it to him. And here's Love. Across the 15 to the 16, short of the first down. Brings up third down. Caden Fordham, who has the honor of wearing the #1 jersey for North Carolina State. On the stop, leading tackler for the Wolfpack.
Another big third down early on here, 3rd and 4. Again, a man-to-man type situation.
There's Fordham.
Yeah, NC State's been banged up in the secondary. Look for them to try to exploit the matchup on Pauling inside one more time.
Carr, 2-step drop. Ball is batted at the line of scrimmage. And that brings up 4th down.
Got a man-to-man look down at the boundary, and he just wants to throw a little
There is no foul.
hitch route.
Pass interference as the ball was tipped.
That is Travali Price.
Pretty athletic play for 285 pounds, jumping up and knocking that one down. And NC State's got a chance to get this thing back. Great field position. Heads up here. Looks like a fake.
Yep, they're back underneath here.
Charge timeout. NC State.
But NC State
Their
saw it
second
and
of the
said,
half.
wait a
There
second.
will be
We
30
know this.
seconds.
These trick plays. Notre Dame's had a number of fakes.
Yeah, it's a good timeout. I would be shocked in this situation if Marcus continued. Who knows if that was going to be a fake anyway, but I'd be shocked if they. And that's actually what Mike Denbrock talked to us last week about that 4th and 2 that we referenced. They had shown the Wildcat play on an earlier down, and then there was a timeout, and they came back to it, and Boise State was ready for the look, and so I think they probably learned the lesson. Can't see them doing the same thing. They're going to kick it away, and NC State's going to have good field position here.
Special teams have been a total adventure for North Carolina State this year. In fact, Terrell Anderson took over from Teddy Hoffman that job after Hoffman muffed a couple of punts But Doran said, there was one other good thing about that game last week is we found our punt returner, and he's Anderson. He's done a nice job. Just a spectacular day on the campus of Notre Dame, and NC State hanging right in there with the 16th ranked Fighting Irish, and they've got the football, pretty decent field position at their own 37-yard line, trying to put some more points on here before the end of the first half. 6:07 left. And on the ground they go. And it is Leonard Moore who puts the wraps on Smothers. We had a nice conversation with NC State head coach Dave Doran earlier this week. Coach, he said, I'm a no BS kind of guy. And you tell how much his coaches and his players respect him because of that. He says he doesn't like to bring in anybody that doesn't really fit the culture and the mode of NC State. Second longest tenure in school history for Doran. Trying to pull off a shocker here. Bailey's in trouble, and he's going to go down at the 40. Elijah Hughes, who continues to get more and more playing time for Notre Dame, the USC transfer, in on the pressure there, and a loss of 3.
Week in and week out, this Notre Dame defensive front's gotten better and better, putting pressure on the quarterback, and a lot of it has to do with just a relentless nature. Hughes getting an opportunity to push in the pocket, and then getting Bailey to the ground. And again, we find ourselves in another one of these third down situations, 3rd and 7. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage for Notre Dame. It's looking like man-to-man coverage.
That is Jolie in motion to the left, lining up in the slot. Bailey was looking his way. More pressure, and just come crashing in is Jalen Stroman.
Just love this call by defensive coordinator Chris Ash. This is Stroman right here. It's a secondary blitz. The linebackers around the line of scrimmage, and here he comes, and it's a late pressure. Once all those offensive linemen in the backs lock up with the Notre Dame defenders, here comes the extra guy. Bailey holds it. Stroman sacks him.
3rd sack of the day for the Notre Dame defense. Noonkester's latest punt drops in front of Faison and down at about the 32-yard line. So good defense again by Notre Dame. Beginning to show signs of the kind of pressure defense they played last year. Let's check in with Zora.
Well, Dan, C.J. Carr was understandably upset after the failure to convert on 4th and inches a few minutes ago. He immediately went to the bench, put his head in his hands, and took his headset on and off multiple times. And you all mentioned how competitive he is. Everyone talks about it. He cares so much.
No doubt about it, Zora. C.J. Carr is special. The coaches know it, and the players around him do as well. 4:06 left in this opening half. Notre Dame trying to regain the lead. And that pass complete to Raridon for a huge gain down to the Wolfpack 45-yard line. Gain of 23 for Eli Raridon.
Again, attacking different ways. This is Raridon just running an in-cut in the middle of the defense. A lot of different weapons. Protection's clean. That guy's 6'7". Put on his face mask. Good throw.
Second catch of the day for Raridon. And Carr going to go to the air again, surveying and looping it over the defense. Beautiful pass, complete to Raridon. That is the kind of touch that C.J. Carr has, the kind of touch coach just can't teach.
He's just a huge target. He runs a deep over route, gets on top of the linebackers. C.J. sees it right away, delivers a strike. 2 explosive plays to Raridon. They're knocking on the door.
All the way down to the 15-yard line of NC State. Carr is in a rhythm. This time he's unable to get it to Fields. 2nd down and 10. Jamel Johnson on the coverage for the Wolfpack.
C.J. Carr has great command at the line of scrimmage. You see him do a lot of this. There's a lot of different signals they use based on what he sees to tell the receivers the route to run. He runs a slant route or an under route inside. It's good defense by Johnson, knocking it out.
Jadarian Price in the backfield with Carr taking his turn on this series. And they give it to Price. Looking for a hole, darting through and doing his thing. Again, close to the first down, about a yard short after a gain of 7.
The zone run game is all about stretch and cut. Stretch, 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 and then cut. That's what he does. Get the white shirts running to the sidelines and then cut up the field. Both Love and Price do it as well as anybody in the country, always finishing forward. They can be tough. This is 4-down territory right here for Marcus Freeman as they get in close. The clock is ticking.
Third and 2, they give it to Price. He stopped for a loss, and that'll bring up 4th down, and another interesting call here.
Well, it just looked rushed, Hicksy. It looked rushed. It looked like there was confusion. They were looking at the sidelines, what they were doing there. And in that situation, maybe the best thing to do is call a timeout when you rush these plays, especially important ones like that.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Usually it's not a good result.
And Notre Dame faced with another one of those 4th down decisions. They need 3. We've reached the 2-minute timeout with Notre Dame and NC State. Locked in a 7-all battle. Notre Dame is going for it on 4th down and 3. The ball at the 8.
We've been here before, haven't we, Hicksy?
Yes, we have.
4th downs in the low red zone.
4 of 12 on the season on 4th downs. They fake it to Price, and now Carr's running for his life, just heaving it into the end zone, and it is picked off. There's a flag down in the end zone. That was Assad Brown who came up with a football.
It did not look good from the start, but maybe the flag bails Notre Dame out. A lot of discussion.
After further discussion, there is no foul for defensive pass interference. The ball was intercepted in the end zone for a touchback. 1st down at the 20-yard line.
They go play action here, and they try to get CJ out on the edge. Receivers over the top. NC State not buying it at all.
So a couple of curious 4th down plays. CJ Carr rolling out, just throwing it out there. And in the end, no pass interference.
I got to be honest with you, Malachi Fields really had no shot to make the play on the ball, but you're really not allowed to do that. Okay, he's out of the pocket. He's holding on to him. I think it's a sketchy call.
Crowd is booing right now as Hollywood Smothers gets the 1st down and 10 call for a gain of 2. Bring up 2nd down and 8.
Hey, this is big here, Hicksy. 1:44 to go. NC State's got one timeout.
It will be 30 seconds.
Timeout on the field as we're going to step away and be back in just a moment. Very interesting opening half of football here. North Carolina State with a chance to put some more points on the board before halftime. Tied at 7. Bailey steps up, goes down underneath, pass complete, and it's a pretty good game by Duke Scott. And we'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching volleyball, as we're now on NBC and Peacock. Notre Dame, 16th ranked in the country here, getting all it can handle from NC State. Clock stopped at 1:36. Been a couple of interesting 4th down calls involving CJ Carr, who's rolled out unsuccessfully, and that has been a big reason why NC State coach Dave Dorn and his Wolfpack have been able to stay right in this ball game.
Yeah, no doubt. Notre Dame has moved the ball. They've run it, they've thrown, they've gotten down in there close 3 times. They scored a touchdown once. The other 2 times, this NC State defense has stepped up, and that's why this score is tied at 7. And again, another one of these 3rd down situations. It's 3rd and 5. It's looking a lot like man-to-man coverage. Look for some rub routes.
Bailey strong arms it to the near side, and the pass is complete to Terrell Anderson. Nice grab. Anderson already with a touchdown today. Picks up a key 1st down. Look at this catch.
Out route to the field.
Or was it a catch?
Again, ruled a catch on the field, so it has to be clear and obvious. That ball's moving around. Yeah, not surprised at all they stopped it.
Yep.
The ruling on the field of a catch for a first down is under further review.
Pixie, I think it was the second view that we saw where you could really see the ball movement.
Let's bring in Reggie Smith. Reg, what are you seeing here?
I see the receiver going to the ground in an attempt to make the catch, but the ball is on the ground. The receiver does not have control. This is an incomplete pass and should be reversed.
Yeah, definitely from that previous angle, Reggie, I think you're right.
I agree with you, Reg.
So called an 11-yard completion at the moment. But that angle right there shows that tip of that ball loose.
Again, it's clear and obvious. So that's the standard, right, Reg?
Standard, but what's clear and obvious to us, coach, isn't always clear
Exactly
and obvious
right.
in replay.
Isn't that funny how it works? It's like common sense.
Well, as we zoom in with the NBC, see it even clearer that that ball was not
Yeah,
under control.
I'd be surprised if they didn't overturn this thing. Too much movement of the ball. Cue the Jeopardy music.
Oh, yeah.
If you're Dave Doran, you got to feel good about where you are right now coming into Notre Dame Stadium. The score being tied at 7, particularly with how Notre Dame has moved the football. The fourth down stops in the red zone have been the difference.
North Carolina State got off to a quick start this year. They won their first 3 games, and then they looked lackluster with losses at Duke, Virginia Tech, as they had some turnovers that prevented them from keeping the winning streak alive. And then they hammered the Camels of Campbell last week, 56-10, to set up this 4-2 mark into Notre Dame Stadium. But they have hung on in this one.
Hey, Reg, what's the discussion right now? We've got to see, you've seen this thing 15 times.
Other than dinner plans after the game, coach, I'm not sure what they could be discussing here.
Do you remember
this should have been over and done with.
Do you remember the great scene from Bull Durham? You know, they go out to the pitcher's mound. Candlesticks will be nice. That's what we're doing over there. Yeah, that's the most telling view, right? He hasn't secured the ball. It's on the ground. The ball's moving. It should be incomplete.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Whoa.
First down. He set the game clock to 1 minute,
Wow.
31 seconds.
Clear and obvious. High standard.
And that is a huge call. Just first and 10 now, 1.5 minutes left.
Hey, Hicksy, 2 calls. The fourth down play in the end zone when they pick up the flag on the defensive pass interference, and then this one right here. These are game-changing decisions by the officials.
Fans letting them know.
It's a shocker.
So NC State with a timeout and 1:20 left. Bailey trying to quiet down this crowd. Good pursuit there.
There he is.
That was Leonard Moore. And Terrell Anderson did not have much time before Leonard Moore got right into his shoulder pads there. Moore returning last week with a couple of interceptions after being out of the lineup for a couple of games. Such a big addition when he's back in there. 2nd down and 9 for Bailey. That pass, is that picked off? Looks like Christian Gray got it.
I think they're calling incomplete down here.
Incomplete.
2 officials looking at each other. Side judge saying the ball hit the ground.
Incomplete pass.
Oh, man.
It's third down.
Another close one. We're going to go back-to-back here.
Yeah. Need a different replay than that.
I see Reggie Smith on our monitor. He's beside himself.
Further review.
I don't know what's going to happen.
What do you think, Reg?
If this thing isn't overturned?
Well, again, defender going to the ground. He's got to maintain firm control. He appears to have secure possession of the ball when going to the ground. We do not see the ball hit the ground.
Yeah, right
so
there.
So again, that clear and obvious standard, we can't see it hit the ground. I don't know if this will be enough for them to overturn.
The challenge here is they called it incomplete on the field. So is there clear and obvious that it was a catch? There's a lot of shadows preventing us from really getting a good look at the ball.
Watch the tip of the football here. If you keep going. Oh man, it's hard.
It's hard to
see
tell.
right there. If you back that up and go back, it looks at that point.
And maybe that's what the official saw, but the challenge here is it was called incomplete on the field. I can't see them overturning this. And if we're called a catch on the field, I'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
Officials heavily involved here at the end of the second quarter.
I thought we were over this from last week.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
And we've got another replay powwow.
On both sides of the ball for both teams, you have to get ready for what's next.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Incomplete pass is third down.
All right, so we've had a couple of very close calls here. This is the previous one when Anderson was upheld as a completion.
Wow.
And then this was called incomplete.
Wow. All you want is a strike zone.
Or no interception, I should say, for Gray. And so here we go, 3rd and 9 with 50 seconds left for the Wolfpack. They just keep getting new lives here. Bailey's running for his life. Gets out of it and somehow gets it up to the 40-yard line before Kingston Viliamo-Asa was there to chase him down.
By Marcus.
Timeout by Freeman with 40 seconds left.
They're about to blow the roof off of the stadium. Really good job by the Notre Dame defensive front, getting C.J. Bailey to the ground. Viliamo-Asa making the play, and now we're back the other way, okay? If you're Notre Dame, you're going to get the ball. You're going to have a long way to go here with no timeouts. Just remember, in college football, the clock pauses after a first down. So it gives you an opportunity to move the ball maybe more quickly than you can in the NFL. The big thing for Notre Dame is to be smart here. Don't be frivolous with the ball once you get it.
So as the boos continue to cascade down Notre Dame Stadium, this is Faison awaiting a very good punt all the way back to the 6-yard line. Puts a nice move on the defender and creates some more room to the near side. Faison blasted at the 30, but it was a good return. It took some 15 or so seconds off the clock. So 25 seconds left for Notre Dame. 54-yard punt and a 27-yard nice return by Faison. Reminder, All-State halftime report coming your way. Alabama takes down Missouri. Indiana with a big trip to Oregon. We've got all the guys in the studio talking about another big day in college football as Notre Dame tries to make something happen here with 25 seconds left and no timeouts.
Again, you're looking for a big chunk, ideally the chunk down the field, and then you get yourself out of bounds.
Carr poised, steps up in the pocket.
We got a call.
Got a call at the 45-yard line.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that was Jackson Vick, who is on the coverage of Faison.
Faison ran an in cut here, and Vick clearly grabs him as he throws it to him. But again, be aware here, 18 seconds, minus 45-yard line. You really need probably 25 yards to be able to kick a field goal here. You're thinking out-breaking routes, you're trying to get a chunk. It's in the middle of the field, you go clock the ball.
Charge timeout.
Final 2 minutes of this half have taken like 2 hours. So the final timeout taken by Dave Doran.
I think it's a good timeout. A lot of times in this situation, you think a lot about the offense taking timeouts, but it's equally important for the defense if they don't feel good about the call or the situation. You call a timeout, you reset, you get everybody on the same page. It does give Notre Dame a chance to think about it and talk about it. It's a chunk play down the middle of the field where you clock it, or you try to use the sidelines. Maybe it's a flat route and a corner route into the boundary where you can catch it and get out of bounds and give yourself some more chances.
When you're talking potential field goals for Notre Dame, remember that Noah Burnett, who's back in the game this week as the place kicker, is sorting through a hip injury, but from long range, they may feel better about Eric Schmidt. So we'll see if that comes into play here as Carr on first down and 10 goes over the middle. That's a big chunk.
Clock the ball. Clock the ball.
Clock stop at 12 seconds with a first down. It'll be wound up again. Gain of 21 there. And there's the clock by Carr, stopping it with 11 seconds left. Second down from there.
Now you get a chance to reset it here. And again, you got to use the boundary. A corner route and a flat route into the boundary is a great call here. You're on the fringe of field goal range. You can kick the ball here. It's going to be a 53-yard field goal. Obviously, CJ can't go backwards in this situation.
There is Burnett. Talk with the coaches. They said, we'll see if we had a long-range field goal, if we went with Schmidt or not, because Burnett has been a little sore. But Notre Dame trying to get a little more yardage here. Carr with time. Pass complete to Raridon, his tight end. And that stops the clock with 8 seconds left.
Yeah, I love the call right there. The third receiver, Raridon, run to the flat. Now it goes from ball being on the 35 to the 32. And the kicker, Burnett, awfully happy about those 3 yards.
50-yard field goal from where it stands right now.
Hicksy, you can do it one more time. Call the same play. And if you don't like it, throw it over his head.
Yep.
Ball's got to come out fast.
Try to get in a little closer here. On 3rd and 7. Carr, quick flip. Raridon gets maybe 3 yards more, so the ball spotted maybe at about the 29 or 30-yard line.
Can't overstate how important those yards are for this kicker. Okay, instead of kicking 53, okay, it's 5 more yards. You're kicking 47, 48.
Yep. Notre Dame has not made a field goal in almost a month since the second quarter of the Texas A&M game. So here is Burnett, who's got a career long, which was a game winner last year against Minnesota. 3 of 3 field goals so far this year. This one from 48 yards to give the Irish the lead. And Burnett is able to cap it off. As time runs out, Notre Dame has the 3-point lead thanks to the leg of Burnett.
You think those yards didn't make a difference? Snap, hold, kick. Well done. Tyler Buckner gets it down. Burnett puts it through. Clinic reel 2-minute drive before the half by Notre Dame.
It didn't clear the crossbar by much.
An inch. Changed the momentum.
C.J. Carr.
Big time drive.
Thankfully. Yeah, some key receptions there by the tight end Raridon that really made the difference whether Burnett was going to make that kick or not.
They handled the whole thing beautifully. Get the chunk play, clock the ball, and then throw the ball to the sideline. Well done.
Crowd still stating their displeasure about some of the calls that were made as we send down to Zora.
Coach, what did you think of the execution of that last series?
It was good. It's something we practice, you know, that 2-minute situation. You know, you never can truly practice every single thing that will happen, but it was good execution, 2 sideline plays, and to be able to get it through the upright with no seconds on the clock, man, that's big as we go into half and then we get the ball back.
You mentioned the field goal. Noah Burnett has been in and out of the lineup. How crucial of him was it to make that field goal going into the half?
Yeah, I mean, he's not fully 100%, but he's good enough to go out here and try to kick it. I think that's big for the confidence of our offense, confidence for Noah and everybody else. And so that was big as we go into halftime.
Why do you think you all are 0 for 2 on 4th downs?
We got to execute better, right? The first one, 4th and short, and we get stuck. I mean, it's the incomplete. You know, they did a good job getting underneath the flat route. And then the 4th down play, we took a shot. We thought maybe they would be a little bit more aggressive in taking a shot. And it wasn't good. The issues, though, are the plays leading up to that 4th down play. We got to stay ahead of the sticks. We got to eliminate our turnovers, and we got to continue to have positive plays on offense.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, so lots to discuss between Marcus Freeman and his staff and his players, leading the Wolfpack 10-7. As we're going to send you to the studios, we'll be back with a second kickoff, half kickoff, a little bit later. Notre Dame gets a 48-yard field goal by Noah Burnett as time expires in the first half, and it is the Irish up 10-7 over the Wolfpack of NC State. Take a look at our college football bulletin brought to you by Ford Blue Crew. Some of the numbers, the quarterback comparison between Bailey. He's got the 1 touchdown toss. C.J. Carr's had some good yardage, but this was a theme of the game. NC State knew that they couldn't stay in this one unless they held Love and Price in check, and that's exactly what they did. And the 4th downs remain an issue over the last 2 weeks, as Notre Dame will get the second half kickoff. And Denbrock will go to work with the play sheet as Jadarian Price awaits the start of the second half. And they'll start at the 25-yard line. Before we start it up, let's check in with Zora.
NC State head coach Dave Doran says Notre Dame only has 10 points, and that's a good thing. He says his defense has done everything he has asked them to do. On offense, though, he wants his quarterback, C.J. Bailey, to throw the ball more accurately. He added, we can beat their corners. Of note, though, receiver Terrell Anderson is questionable to return with an upper extremity injury.
Thanks, Zora. Anderson has the lone touchdown reception from C.J. Bailey, but here are the Irish coming out at the 25-yard line with Jeremiah Love back in the backfield with C.J. Carr. Love with just 32 yards in the opening half, and he gets the call and gets nowhere. This NC State front line has been doing the job up front. Kenny Soares Jr. on the stop of Love.
They sure have, and it might be time for this Notre Dame offense to really settle in and rely on this offensive line. They've done a good job. Notre Dame has been able to move the ball. Protection has been a big part of it, and they've done a good job in the running game as well. Moving this defensive front off the ball when they got down in there close in the first half, and they handed it to Jeremiah Love. Good things happened.
They fake to him, Carr to the air, over the outstretched arms of Malachi Fields. 3rd and 10.
But as Doran said, he's awfully pleased with how this defense has played to keep this Notre Dame offense to just 10 points in the first half. And the whole approach was predicated on we have to stop this running game. Let's make C.J. Carr in the passing game win. They've done a good job in situational football, keeping the score down.
Irish 2 of 7 today on 3rd down conversions. They need 10 here.
Looks like pressure.
Offensive line holds the pocket for Carr, and that one is dropped by Pauling, who was on the sideline there. And a good pass there by Carr, but Pauling unable to hang on.
Excellent start by this NC State defense. Looks like Vic had that right hand in there a little bit early. Pauling wasn't able to pluck it out of the sky, and the Wolfpack are off the field. A good start.
3 and out. And Freeman not happy with the start there.
Some frustration on the Notre Dame side.
And again, with Terrell Anderson, as you heard Zora say, out of the game. So that is Wesley Grimes now returning the punt, a 44-yarder. As C.J. Bailey and company will try to get on top and bounce back. And now the report is official. Anderson is out of the game, and he is a very big component for Dorn's offense.
He sure is. He had 3 catches and the touchdown in the first half. Explosive vertical player, but they have other weapons as well. Look for them to start to get Justin Jolie involved, the big tight end.
They start this one with Hollywood Smothers. And Smothers was kept in check for the most part, big time in the first half. Just had 25 yards in the opening half. Gain of 3 there by Smothers, who's got all these 100-yard games, but he has been working hard for every single yard today.
Yeah, and both defenses came in with the approach that we cannot let the other team run the football, and they've been effective at that, but there have been some big plays in the passing game as a result.
So Hollywood has been kept in check. They fake it to him. Bailey goes to the air. That ball is caught at the 40. It appears that Wesley Grimes was able to hang on.
It was good coverage by Christian Gray, coming in over the top.
We've got another one of those. I'm not sure he had control.
Looks like the point of the ball came down and hit the ground. I don't know. I don't think there's enough to overturn it. It's 3rd and 2.
We had enough of that in the last 2 minutes of the first half,
yes,
didn't we?
Did. They're gonna look at it.
They got to look at it.
Of a completed pass is under further review.
So Reggie has barely had a chance to have a halftime snack when he's brought back into duty here. Reggie, what are your thoughts on the latest call being reviewed here?
Well, again, I hate to be overly confident, Coach and Dan, but number 6, again, going to the ground, does not appear to have firm control. The ball does hit the ground. To me, I say incomplete pass, but who knows?
Yeah, I like that view right there that we just saw. The one from the back better than this one. And we got to remember it was called a catch on the field, so you need clear and obvious to overturn it. But, Reg, I agree with you. I think this is the look right here that tells us he doesn't have control of it.
And you can see right there that he doesn't. That ball hits the ground.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's bouncing around. But who knows? We've been wrong 3 times already, right, Reg?
Right.
No, we're sorting this one out quicker.
After further review, the pass was incomplete.
There we go.
It's 3rd down.
Off the schneid.
Yeah, and the Notre Dame fans finally have something to cheer about. A call has gone their way.
Dancing in the streets. Okay, here we go. 3rd and 7. You're going to see a similar kind of defense, though. Notre Dame's going to show pressure. They're going to play man-to-man coverage. And don't be surprised if Bailey continues to try to work the matchup inside on Dallas Golden. They had some success with it earlier.
There was Justin Jolie having a last-second little conversation there with Bailey on 3rd and 6, we'll call it. Bailey's looking his way, but he goes deep down the sidelines. And with a step out there was Noah Rogers. But Bailey was unable to hook up with him.
It's Rogers, the outside receiver, is just a go route. Just runs right by Christian Gray. C.J. Bailey misses the throw. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, he was separated there.
So many deep routes, 9 routes, go balls are missed because they involve the 12th defender, the sideline. Throw the ball down the field at his outside hand and let him run through it. CJ's gonna have nightmares over that one.
So the Irish defense with a stop. Faison calling for the fair catch back at the 9-yard line where the latest Notre Dame drive will begin. Low scoring game at Notre Dame Stadium. The Irish up by 3. Lou Holtz, of course, leading the Irish to their last national championship back in 1988. You also saw him at the helm of NC State in the early 70s, 72 through 1975. And there is the statue of Lou Holtz outside the stadium, and Notre Dame trying to win this game to keep their hopes alive of trying for another national championship after making the title game last year. But the mission is simple: stay error-free and win out. As they start this one, this is Jadarian Price, who's just across the 15-yard line. But for the most part, NC State's defense coach has done a heck of a job on this 1-2 combination for Notre Dame.
Yeah, their defensive coordinator, DJ Elliott, he's got to feel good. You know, he talked about, hey, we got to stop the run. We have to set edges. We have to tackle. We can't let those running backs get going. And they've done an excellent job of that so far. Putting the pressure on C.J. Carr in the passing game, it's worked out well.
Price still in there on 2nd down and 5. Carr looping it down the sidelines, incomplete. He won it Fields. There was Devon Marshall on the coverage of the big wideout.
There were 11 guys.
Pass interference. Defense number 6. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's on Devon Marshall.
And I love the decision by C.J. Carr. There are 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Malachi Fields by himself. It's a poor release. He gets pushed wide to the boundary, but just at the end of the down, you just can't do that. Marshall too handsy. Gives Notre Dame offense a little breathing room.
Up here at the 30 now. Carr's got some pressure. Steps up. Not able to get out of it. Brought down at the 25 by Travali Price. Loss of 5. Big play again for the Wolfpack defense.
Price showed up earlier by knocking a ball down here and, you know, playing these defensive tackle spots inside. The big thing you want to do is push the pocket inside. He gets around Ashton Craig. CJ tries to climb the pocket. Not having it this time. Minus plays have derailed this Notre Dame offense throughout this ball game.
Second sack of the day for the Wolfpack defense, who now has Notre Dame in a 2nd down and 15 hole. So they give it to Price. Gets a few back, but not much, not even to the 30-yard line.
3rd and 10. I would anticipate this NC State defense, DJ Elliott, the defensive coordinator, to try to show CJ Carr one thing and play something else. So show some pressure here, then drop out and play zone. Or show some zone and bring some late heat like they did earlier. There's your pressure look.
And a flag stops it all. Movement on Notre Dame's side.
How about that? Gave him a little shimmy.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
That's on Ashton Craig, the center.
See the side judge come in there and said, it looked like Craig gave him a little shoulder shake. 3rd and 15.
Yep, 17. Actually, it's just been a dismal series here for Notre Dame, up 10-7. And that ball is complete to Faison. Carr hung in there a long time, and Faison was able to get loose.
He sure was. CJ does a good job keeping his eyes up the field as he climbs the pocket in this long down and distance situation. You see Faison right here is going to work into the hole. It's an excellent throw.
Just short of the first down. Here we go, 4th down. So on 4th and 2, and picking up the first down is Tyler Buckner. And they're going quick here, not wasting any time.
Really well done.
Reset to the 41-yard line.
Well, here was the punt formation.
There is no charge, timeout.
And there's Buckner, number 10, who's 3rd on the depth chart at quarterback, taking it and going over the top for the first down. Buckner was the guy that muffed the snap in the game earlier with Texas A&M. A tough period that was for Buckner, as that ended up being the difference in the loss to Texas A&M in the 2nd game of the year right here at Notre Dame Stadium. But the ball just across the 40, and the drive is alive. Carr trying to get something going in rhythm. Pass is complete at the 49-yard line to K.K. Smith.
Do you remember Tyler Buckner? The end of the play here, Smith. One knee equals 2 feet. It's secure. Well done. You only need 1 foot in college, Dixie.
Carr stepping up and then just looping it down. A dangerous pass. And we've got flags in there as Eli Raridon was in double coverage. Assad Brown, Kenny Soares Jr.
Pass interference. Defense number 33.
And that's on Soares.
15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
This is just at the end of the down. Raridon over the top of Soares. Pretty easy call for the official. Watch C.J. Carr climb in the pocket, looking like a young Patrick Mahomes there, jumping and throwing. You know what off platform means? That's it right there. Jump and throw.
So Notre Dame pushing it deep into NC State territory now at the 34. Jadarian Price trying his luck along the left side for maybe 3. Caden Fordham on the stop for the Wolfpack D.
Yeah, excuse me, Hicksy. Eli Raridon really showing up in the passing game today. An in cut, a deep over route, then he gets the defensive pass interference, reemerging this week, making a difference for this Irish offense.
Yeah, Raridon had a number of big catches that enabled Burnett to get in close enough for that field goal from 48 yards. This is Price, and now this Notre Dame offense is starting to rev up. Gain of 11 there, and another first down for the Irish. We got Soares on the ground. He was just called for the penalty earlier.
Timeout on the field.
So while they attend to Soares, we'll take a break. Notre Dame with a good drive going, leading by 3. Programming note as Notre Dame holds on to this 10-7 lead. For those of you watching this bonus coverage on NBC, we'll be sending you to your local news at the top of the hour. But this game will continue on Peacock, just like it was when we kicked off. So Notre Dame at the Wolfpack 20 with a 1st and 10. With 8:23 left in this 3rd quarter. Price searching for something, not much. That hole closes in a hurry, thanks to Caden Fordham, just a gain of 2.
This defense for NC State, they came in with the mindset we have to stop the run. We have to set edges on the defense. Set the edge, send them back inside, and tackle these ball carriers. Done an excellent job of this so far in the game. You have to defeat blocks inside. You have to have a lot of guys on defense around the ball. They've done it consistently. It's been tough sledding for this Irish rushing attack all day long.
As we said earlier, Dave Dorn said we had got no chance unless we can keep Price and Love contained, and that's what they do. They'll bring up 3rd down and long. Sebastian Harsh in there.
Everything comes off of Notre Dame's running game. The play action pass is where they make the big throws down the field. Okay, it's because they run the ball well. The one-on-one matchups where they make big plays in the slot or outside, it's because they're one-on-one. People are defending the run. NC State's done an excellent job shutting that part of their offense off.
You saw Love on the sidelines there. 12 carries, just 32 yards. And now on 3rd and 8, it's Jadarian Price still in there.
Pressure inside. Here they come.
Carr hands in there, goes over the middle. Wide open is K.K. Smith for the score. Yards to K.K. Smith. Just his 3rd catch of the season and his 1st touchdown.
As we look at Johnson, this is the exact same play that happened last week in the game. It's pressure inside and bring the safety. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. In the middle of the field is wide open for him to throw the post. Last week, C.J. Carr missed this throw on a 4th and 8. Comes right back. He calls the same thing. It's a post coming from the other side, this time to K.K. Smith. and he is right on the money.
The sophomore from Frisco, Texas, getting some separation there from Jackson Vick. Still have an injured NC State player on the field, J.J. Johnson. Injured player for the Wolfpack, J.J. Johnson, taken off the field. They can ill afford another injury in the defensive secondary as Noah Burnett awaits the extra point here to make it 17-7. Burnett had that big field goal to end the first half. And Tyler Buckner, who in the fake punt was the man that picked up the first down to keep this very drive alive with a hold that helps put the Irish up by 10 with 7 minutes to go in the third.
Okay, this is last week right here. 4th and 8. Okay, this is pressure right down the middle. They're bringing all these guys. There's nobody in the middle of the field. C.J. Carr does an excellent job checking the protection, but he misses the throw. He had Will Pauling in the end zone, and he overthrows it. Protection's clean. He hurries the throw, and he misses it. This is today. Look at the frustration last week, and then today, same situation comes up. It's the same protection. It's the same blitz. It's the same nobody in the middle of the field. This time it's K.K. Smith. He finds it. Excellent job with protection. He's calmer in the pocket and delivers a strike big time. That's what I love about this guy. A great sense of satisfaction afterwards. He felt pretty good about that one.
Connects with KK for Smith's first career touchdown from Notre Dame. As you look at the numbers for C.J. Carr, no one is harder on himself than the redshirt freshman quarterback. But he delivered a strike there to a wide open KK Smith. This is Eric Schmidt with a kickoff. And NC State, now down by 10, is going to come out to the 25-yard line to see if they can bounce back.
Hicksy, just one more thought on C.J. Carr. When you learn as a quarterback, there's so many different experiences you get in, and you're going to be wrong. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss throws. When you learn from those experiences and grow from them, that's what the best guys do. Really impressive by 13.
And we mentioned J.J. Johnson off the field. Now he's headed to the locker room. And again, this is an NC State secondary that basically, after the first game, lost like 3 guys. I mean, they were down to the 5th spot in the nickel position, and so they are really thin back there. But here's C.J. Bailey, down 10 now, starting off this latest series with a pass complete just short of the 30-yard line to Keenan Jackson. Leonard Moore on the coverage, the star corner for Notre Dame.
And he's awfully good, and if I'm C.J. Bailey, I'd throw it the other way. Because this Leonard Moore, over time, you're going to lose more than you're going to win.
Boy, we had a conversation with Leonard Moore. Lengthy conversation with him yesterday. He walks in the room and he just exudes confidence. Nothing cocky or arrogant about it. He just knows how good he is, you can tell. This is complete, and a nice move by Hollywood Smothers, picking up the first down for NC State. Gain of 8 for Hollywood, who's been largely absent.
He has, and this is where NC State's at their best, where the ball comes out quickly, throw to the receiver, throw to Smothers, and this is where he's magic. Look at the quickness, the body control, spin, wow.
Picked up the nickname in high school. He just kind of, his teammates felt it was appropriate, and it stuck with him. Now he's got it, and he passes back to Bailey. This thing didn't look like it had much going at the outset, and Junior Tuialamaka blows it up in the end.
Wow, we had a great view of that. That looked awfully dangerous. Here we go. He's coming this way. Bailey's going that way. He's going to throw it back to him, but watch Tuialamaka, the defensive end. He sees it. He reads it. Smothers just chunks it that way. I thought it was going to hit Tuialamaka in the head.
Tuialamaka drags down the baby giraffe by the jersey with a loss of 5. And this brings up 2nd down and long for NC State.
What a play.
There comes Tuialamaka again. Flag comes in. Maybe he was held. Bailey gets rid of it.
I think he definitely was held, Dan.
Holding. Offense number 54. The penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
It's Teague Anderson, the right tackle here. Again, on Tui Alamaka. And one thing that happens sometimes with C.J. Bailey, he gets deep in the pocket. So as Anderson wants to push Tui Alamaka around him, Bailey's moving back. No chance but to hold the guy. Third and extra long here.
14.
I would anticipate some soft zone, make him throw the ball underneath and rally and tackle.
Botello's coming around the edge. Bailey's flushed out. He's going to try to run it. And gets close to the first down, but short of the 45-yard line. Don Schuler was handling the pursuit. Pretty good gain by Bailey, but now they've got fourth down.
I think it's too early to go for it here in the minus territory, but you know, that's why you play zone coverage in that situation. So you have eyeballs on the quarterback. Good job by Notre Dame rallying and getting the tackle before he can make the first down here. But I think Doran probably thought about it. If he were across the 50-yard line, probably would have gone for it. But still plenty of time in this ball game. It's just a two-score game.
That was the longest rushing for NC State, that 10-yard gain by Bailey. Still not able to pick up the first down, so Faison is going to let this sail over his head. And it'll come out to the 20. 56-yard punt there by NC State. Notre Dame in business again, leading by 10. Back at Notre Dame Stadium, where the Irish have a 10-point lead. And there was no one that took more heat on the Notre Dame team after the first two games than the new defensive coordinator, Chris Ash. But this defense has really awakened in the last three games. You see there, one touchdown allowed in each of the last three games. That's after they gave up some pretty big-time yardage. The losses to Miami and Texas A&M. They still weren't satisfied after they beat Purdue 56-30. But now Notre Dame's offense takes over here from its own 20. And C.J. Carr goes right to work, looking for a big shot. Almost picked off there by number 22, Jackson Vick, who's been a welcome addition to that Wolfpack defensive secondary, who we already said suffered another injury today with J.J. Johnson out.
C.J. Carr keeping the pedal down, aggressively down the field. Loves throwing to Pauling. Pauling in the slot, working down the middle versus a two-deep zone. A little high with the throw. I would anticipate them coming back and running the football here and trying to establish 4 and 24 in this game.
And here's a start, and Jeremiah Love, who's been sitting on the sidelines for a long time, lowers his shoulder and ends off a big chunk.
And sometimes when you're a play call, you have to throw the ball to get some air in the defense. And one more time, it's Jeremiah Love. The guy just has natural juice to him. Square shoulders, and then he bounces it outside. The receivers do an excellent job blocking. Every time these runners bounce to the perimeter, there's a receiver on a defender giving these guys a chance to make extra yards. And, you know, when you're ahead in a game like this, you're up by 10. You know, you got 18 minutes to go in the ball game. 24 and 4 have to show up to bleed this clock and just to end this game.
That was good.
The success they've had in the passing game should allow them to do that.
Good for 24 there for Love, which, by the way, puts him over 2,000 career rushing yards in his Notre Dame career. And there it is, the 20th player to reach that milestone. And you would think there's going to be a lot more milestones for Jeremiah Love to hurdle as he continues his
I like that. I saw what you did there, Hickey.
Notre Dame career. Well, we're excited to have the NBA back on NBC after 25 years. It starts off with a tip-off of this season on Tuesday, October 21st, only on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Not far down the road, there was a guy by the name of Michael Jordan who used to do some pretty special things in Chicago. He'll be a part of our NBA coverage as well. Yes.
It's so great to have the NBA back on NBC. Those are the glory years, Hicksy.
Just for the music alone.
Yes, no doubt. John Tesh.
There you go.
You didn't think I knew that, did you?
Round ball rock. First and 10, Notre Dame. 3:45 left in the third. Carr surveying, just picking apart this defense now, and that is K.K. Smith for another big gain. After just having his first career touchdown reception, Assad Brown finally ends his journey.
K.K. Smith has juice, Hicksy. This guy can flat out run, and when you can run, The defenders are going to come off of you. You can fall out of the routes. It doesn't matter. They're going to be so far off. I love the call, love the throw. Another big play for this Irish offense.
Carr spreading it around. This time he keeps it to Love. Just stops in his tracks. Kind of looks at the real estate ahead of him and picks up another nice gain of 12.
Do you sense how this has happened? It seemed like it was so hard earlier because there were so many guys committed to the line of scrimmage. You throw the ball, you put some air in the defense, and then the run game comes alive.
Ball all the way down to the 12-yard line. Another 1st and 10. Notre Dame trying to get some distance between the underdog NC State team. Carr going to the goal line. Pauling! Touchdown, Notre Dame! That drive, as you said, Coach, had a really good feel and blend to it.
There's no doubt.
But a Notre Dame lineman is down on his back.
Might be Ashton Craig. C.J. Carr eats up what we call cover 0. Again, this is a pressure look. There's nobody in the middle of the field. We saw him throw a touchdown to K.K. Smith earlier. He sees it. They protect it. One more time. Pauling in the middle of the field with no help. DB has no chance. Excellent recognition. Excellent route. Watch how Pauling runs up on the defender. He gets close to him, so when he breaks inside, the defender is on his back. Assad Brown with no help inside. He has no chance. One more time, CJ's on the money.
And that is Craig. Good news up on his own feet as Pauling hauls in his 4th catch. Good for the touchdown. Pauling is over 100 yards, 105 yards in receiving. And Carr all of a sudden has 268 yards through the air. A lot of it added on that last touchdown drive of 5 plays.
If you think about it, Hicksy, the 2 times they came after him with an all-out blitz, he saw it, blocked it up, recognized it, and cut it loose for big touchdowns.
Burnett slips it in the right upright to make it 24-7. So NC State finally finds itself in a hole. That's a fair catch caught there by Duke Scott. And we were talking about Chris Ash, who it was a tough start. His first time back coaching in the college ranks after being out of the game for some 4 years. Coaching with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you know what? When you're on the road, Coach, you know what this is like.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this was the reunion with his family, his son Brady, his daughter Alexis, his wife Doreen. They lived down in Florida where Ash's previous coaching stop was for the Jaguars. So that was a sweet moment before the game.
No doubt.
As Ash, obviously, in his first year as the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, tries to get his legs under him. This is Hollywood Smothers trying to do the same as he gets up to the 35-yard line.
You know, a lot of criticism of Chris Ash and this defense early on in the year when they lost to Miami and to A&M. And the one thing you have to remember is there were a lot of good players on this Notre Dame defense who aren't there this year. Think about Riley Mills and Howard Cross and Xavier Watts and Ben Morris and Jack Kaiser, guys who were cornerstone players for a while. They were gone, so there are going to be some growing pains against some good opponents. They've really found their stride here the last 3 weeks.
And all Chris Ash and everybody else heard about was, oh, Al Golden, man, he was so good. He's gone. He's defensive coordinator with the Bengals. But Notre Dame's defense has awakened. There's just too much talent. You just knew that there would be a way for Ash and everybody else to figure it out. They really had a heart-to-heart. We talked about it, Marcus Freeman and Ash and all the players saying, what's going on? The unit is not operating like it should. And they fixed things. They held people accountable for it. And now on 1st and 10, this is Bailey smothered by Boubacar Traore. Ball got loose. Josh Burnham. No, it didn't. Actually, Bailey had it, but this Burnham was taken out after the play have been pretty much settled.
This thing's all about the coverage down the field. There's no place to throw it, but then if you give this guy, Boubacar Traore, too much time, he's walking the tackle right back into Bailey's lap. And
look at Burnham is doing a wrestling move here after the play's over. The ball is stripped.
There's no doubt the ball's out.
Recovered by NC State, but it's a big loss now. 2nd and 22 after the Notre Dame sack. Lost 11 for NC State to get a little bit of it back as Duke Scott makes the catch.
Good. Couple good examples. You were talking about Chris Ash. Everybody wants to establish an identity, and you've seen this the last few weeks with this Irish defense. Pressure on the quarterback, stickier in coverage, and that example right there, swarming to the ball. C.J. Bailey checks the ball down. There are 5 blue shirts right around it, tackling him and knocking him back. And you start establishing that identity. You start gaining a little confidence. The execution starts to elevate. That's what's happened.
Final seconds of the 3rd quarter tick off. Notre Dame has come out in the 2nd half and established command of the game.
That is the end.
It's just a 10-7 lead at half. And now they've upped it with a couple of scores to go up 24-7 as Notre Dame looks for its 4th straight win after the 0-2 start. Campus of Notre Dame with that golden dome in the background looks like straight out of an oil painting. Dan Hicks, Jason Garrett, Zora Stevenson ready for the 4th quarter here, and Dave Doran's squad's going to have to come up with something special here against Chris Ash's defense. 3rd and long, 15.
Anticipate soft zone, make him throw it underneath.
Smothers a split out to Bailey's left. He's looking right, nothing there. Checks down and hammered Drayk Bown. Just put a hit on Hollywood big time.
Just love the depth of this Notre Dame secondary. They play deep. They're not going to let him get a ball down the field. Force C.J. Bailey to throw the ball underneath, and they know where it's going. Look at Drayk Bown. Wow. Talk about clinic reel. Accelerating through the tackle. Big time.
4th and 11, and Hollywood Smothers has regained his footing there. And on this play, Wolfpack going to give it a shot.
Same defense.
Bailey steps up, goes over the middle. That pass is picked off by Adon Schuler. And Schuler streaking down the sidelines inside the 20. Notre Dame stacking up the interceptions. Adon Schuler with his 1st this year after 3 last year.
It's the same defense. Real soft zone. You see Adon Schuler dropping in. C.J. Bailey just doesn't see him. Adon Schuler, excellent job. Go find the boundary. He gets a block from Christian Gray. There's Talich. He's going to take this thing all the way. It's really well done. Look at the vision defense. Watch Adon Schuler just reading C.J. Bailey's eyes. Too easy.
2nd interception of the game for Notre Dame. They had 4 last week, 2 by Moore. And Adon Schuler, the redshirt sophomore from Irvington, New Jersey, setting up the Irish here deep in Wolfpack territory in the start with Price, who maybe got a yard.
This is a little tricky for Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. As it looked like an injured NC State player on the field. But you're up 17, you're in the 4th quarter, certainly a run situation, but NC State continues to commit a lot of people to the line of scrimmage. Looks like it might be Soares again.
It is indeed.
Please set the game clock to 13 minutes, 52 seconds.
As you look at the pride of Irvington, New Jersey, Adon Schuler, we had a chat with him a couple of weeks ago. Proud high school star there, where his dad was a star and coached he and his brothers. Let's check in with Zora again.
Well, Dan, Notre Dame starting center Ashton Craig remains on the sidelines after being helped off the field. He was in the medical tent, and he came out with one of his knee braces off. Quarterback C.J. Carr did walk up to him. They talked for a minute, and Carr is standing up, holding both that knee brace and his helmet. So it's Joe Otting, the 6'4", 308-pound sophomore from Topeka, Kansas, who has filled in for Ashton Craig, who had a season-ending ACL last year, fought his way back to this season. And the Notre Dame offensive line to this point have been largely injury-free. But it's Otting in there now for Craig. And Jadarian Price back there with C.J. Carr on 2nd down and 8. Notre Dame trying to blow it open here. They'll get it to Price, trying to find that edge. And the Wolfpack did a nice job of closing it down.
Yeah, it's excellent defense. I like the call by Denbrock to run this play, because you can run this ball up inside, and if they defend the inside run, you can bounce it. But we've been talking all game long about DJ Elliott, the defensive coordinator, emphasizing setting an edge to the defense. How many times have you seen Price bounce those plays and go running in the end zone? Not this time. And now it's 3rd and 9 for the Irish. For C.J. Carr, understand the game situation. 13 minutes, you're up 17. You got to be great with the football.
Carr floating it to the end zone to Malachi Fields. And that'll bring up 4th down and 9.
Yeah. Got into empty, had a one-on-one outside to Fields, and just gave him a chance. They just weren't on the same page right there. Decision is fine. Execution not what you're looking for. Fields is out there by himself versus off coverage. Sometimes when they play off in that situation, it's harder to throw that ball than it is when they're pressed.
And Noah Burnett is back on the field to attempt a field goal here. This much shorter than his 48-yarder, which just cleared the crossbar to close out the first half. This from 34 yards and just inside. Good for Burnett to add a little cushion to the Notre Dame lead. The Irish leading by 20 with 12:48 left. Notre Dame has pushed their lead to 20 with 12:48 left here in the game. All smiles on the Notre Dame front, as they have taken charge of this game with the second field goal by Noah Burnett, who, by the way, is 5 of 5 on the year this season with his latest. And NC State will come out to the 25-yard line. Sunday night, Coach, you got two powerhouse teams collide. It's a great matchup. Jared Goff and the Lions visiting Arrowhead to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Sunday, 7 Eastern time on NBC and Peacock. You, Maria, and company back in the Football Night in America studios.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he's got his back to the wall right now after that loss in Jacksonville on Monday night. So the high-powered Lions coming to town. It's going to be fun to watch.
C.J. Bailey with his back to the wall here. They have held Hollywood Smothers for the most part in check. Smothers with a decent gain there, though, of 7.
If I'm C.J. Bailey, I'm on the ball and I'm starting to go faster here. It's a 20-point game with 12:30 to go. You got to start picking up the pace. Doesn't mean you have to throw it down the field. Just get it out of your hand and try to get this Notre Dame defense on their heels.
Remember, Smothers is the leading rusher in the ACC, second in the country. And they try him again on the left side for no gain. Gabe Rubio, big defensive lineman up front, who continues to be a part of this resurgent Notre Dame defensive line.
Notre Dame's been so good playing man-to-man coverage since Leonard Moore has gotten back. He just seems to shut down one of the receivers and gives everybody else a lot of confidence. I would anticipate some man in this situation.
And 3rd and 3. Bailey floating back, and then finally another interception. That's Kingston Viliamu-Asa. We've got flags on the play at the 25. But we have been hearing the coaches talk up Viliamu-Asa for the last several weeks. We'll see what the call here is, if it stays or comes back.
Prior to the interception, holding, passing team number 4. That penalty is declined. First down.
So it goes, and Kingston's got himself an interception.
There he is right there, Leonard Moore. It's man-to-man coverage. There's really no place to throw the football. He locks him up. Tae locks him up on the other side. Dallas Golden locks him up in the slot. There's no place for C.J. Baylor to throw this football, and he makes an ill-advised decision at the end of the down, and Viliamu-Asa makes him pay for it. NC State has fought and battled and scratched and clawed, but some big plays on offense and some takeaways on defense have been the difference here in the 4th quarter.
6 interceptions the last 2 games for Notre Dame, and you see what they've been doing on defense with sacks and takeaways. That is the first career interception for Kingston, and that sets up Notre Dame again in great shape at the 19-yard line. Jadarian Price bowling his way for maybe 1 or 2. Isaiah Shirley on the stop.
Coverage and pressure work together. When you have no place to throw the ball, the quarterback's going to hold it longer, and especially in the situation when you're up by 20, these defensive linemen, they pin their ears back and bad things happen.
Audience of 1, says the band across.
Pretty good.
Kingston's nose there. He has picked up, I mean, he had more than twice the snaps last week as he did the previous week, so he has been getting a lot more playing time. This is Carr, flown it to the fade route. Face on! No! Devon Marshall on the coverage.
You mentioned the defensive coach is raving about Viliamu-Asa. The offensive guys rave about this guy right here, Jordan Faison, throwing him a fade outside. You get that man-to-man coverage when they're all loaded up in the box.
Faison wanted to give his lacrosse coach something to cheer about.
Yeah.
He's here. Kevin Corrigan, the longtime lacrosse coach for Notre Dame, has won a couple of national titles, including one when Faison was a freshman. And there's a long connection of Corrigan's to Notre Dame and NC State as well. Over the middle to Raridon. Boy, has he been a big factor today. At tight end U, right? Each starting tight end the last 20 years has gone on to make an NFL roster from Notre Dame. So Eli Raridon trying to keep that streak alive. 6 receptions, 73 yards by Raridon.
Yeah, got hot early in the season, been quiet the last couple of weeks, but been a big factor today.
1st and goal from the 3. Price, why not get him another touchdown? He's stopped at about the 2-yard line by a swarming Wolfpack front line.
If you just think about this Irish offense, starts with the offensive line. They're the engine. They're big and strong. They usually win the matchups week in and week out. You got a tight end like Raridon. You got receivers like Pauling and Fields and Faison. You got the 2 runners, Price and Love, and a quarterback who's really growing before our eyes. It's not an easy offense to defend.
Price trying to get himself another touchdown. Stopped at the 1-yard line, and the ball loose. NC State signaling that they have it, and they do. A turnover on the doorstep here for Freeman's offense. Another look here.
The ball. Looks like he's got it pretty secure. The hat was right on top of it. The ball's clearly out. Big stop by the Wolfpack. Notre Dame got the big turnover, and they come back here. They're knocking on the door, and the ball gets knocked out. This is Royal putting his helmet right on the ball, and it squirts out. On the other side, Kean Sloan, he recovers it for the Wolfpack. So Irish had a chance to really put the nail in the coffin. NC State had
we got a fumble here. And NC State lucky to get that back.
Cue the circus music here, Hixie.
Bad exchange here between Bailey Grant.
Ooh. Looks like the ball got up there, just squirted out to the right. Lonely feeling. Shadow your own goalpost.
And that ball, as he swiped it back in from the end zone, Coach.
To determine if the fumble was recovered in the end zone.
And Reggie, you were watching along with us as he's kind of swiped this ball back in from the end zone.
Yes, Dan, the replay I'm looking at shows the quarterback's right knee down, but a recovery is just like a catch. You need to have secure control in possession. So here, as he's bringing this ball towards him, what replay will determine is whether he possesses the ball, and because it was fumbled back behind their goal line, they're responsible for it being there. If they rule that he possesses it while behind the plane of the goal line, this could be a safety.
So we're looking at his knee there.
Well, when his right knee is down, we've got to look to see when is possession established. In our view here, if he establishes possession while still above the plane of the goal, this would be a safety. If they rule this right here to be possession.
Is it the front plane or the back plane?
No, it doesn't matter. Once the ball goes in, it must come all the way back out of the end zone.
I think it's a safety.
I believe this to be enough for possession. This should be a safety.
Yeah, I agree with you, Reg. Great explanation. Now, I can see the officials taking some time on this one.
Yeah, make sure they get this one right.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables at work on this one. Marcus didn't look happy, though. The home crowd loves safeties, don't they?
At this point, they'll take anything that goes their way.
It's going to be a safety.
After further review, the ball was controlled while it was still in the end zone. It is a safety.
Yep. Pretty clear cut there. And now Marcus Freeman can rejoice a little bit. Along with the 77,000 faithful. First Notre Dame safety in a couple years. What stretches the Notre Dame lead to 29-7 with 9 minutes left.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Notre Dame, his first of the game, number 5. 15-yard penalty is added to the kickoff spot. It'll be the kick down.
And there's Marcus Freeman talking with Boubacar Traore.
I think he might have shot the guns. That was the gesture that Marcus made. We'll see if we can get a look at that, but what a turn of events. The Viliama Asa interception, and then Price gives it back to them, and then they fumble the snap and they get a safety. Wow.
And now Notre Dame will get it back. You've got Price back there, Aeneas Williams with 9 minutes left.
One of the big takeaways for me with Notre Dame's defense is the emergence of their defensive front. Week in and week out, you see these guys getting better and better and better, and they're coming off the ball, they're defending the run, they're affecting the quarterback. It's been a big part of this game. C.J. Bailey has been uncomfortable throughout this game. He's been on his heels, throwing ill-advised balls. Coverage and pressure all work together in a fantastic effort by this Irish defense.
And Hollywood Smothers, who's just been having an incredible season, has 12 carries for 46 yards. That's been another part of a story that hasn't gone NC State's way at all. Just seen 3 turnovers in a span of 6 plays. So this is Price, who's going to field it close to his goal line, and finally brought down there close to the 20 after an 18-yard return. Well, Coach, let's see who's going above the rest. Brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs.
Hey, you know, when a defense comes in and says we're going to stop the run, you got to make big plays in the passing game. And for Notre Dame, it started early. This is Pauling in the slot, running the inside fade. Eli Raridon's been a big part of it down the field on the big in cut. And this is the cover zero look. They blitz C.J. Carr. He finds K.K. Smith in the middle of the defense. So taking some shots down the field when they commit a lot of people to the line of scrimmage, that's the key to winning a game like this. It can feel ugly, but if you make those big plays, you're going to be up by 22 with 9 minutes to go in the ball game.
Jeremiah Love is back in the backfield as Notre Dame begins this series. Carr fakes it to him. Tries to fake his way to more yardage along the right side before he's brought down by Devon Marshall. Let's go back down to Zora.
Receiver coach Mike Brown told me part of what makes the wideouts special is how unselfish they are. I mean, after K.K. Smith's first career touchdown, you would have thought they all scored. It was high fives and high energy. Coach Brown said all these guys care about is winning. It doesn't mean they don't want the ball, but they understand we have really good players in our room.
2nd down and 6 now. Carr spinning back to his left. And he's found Love, but he drops it. Been trying to utilize Jeremiah Love a little bit more often in the passing game, trying to get him on the board in that department for the first time today, and he's not able to handle it.
I love how Zora described that, you know, that it's K.K. Smith. The receivers think it's their TD, and it's the same conversation we had yesterday with Jadarian Price. He said when Jeremiah Love scores, it's like it's our TD. It's our touchdown together. When you have that mentality, you got a real chance as a team.
And that is Jeremiah Love split down to the bottom of the screen there on 3rd down and 6. Carr goes the other way, and he's got Faison, who puts on the moves like he's on the lacrosse field. Huge gain for Faison. Gain at 18.
He is such a good player inside. He's just going to run a slant route inside here. It's an undercut. He puts it right on his front shoulder, breaks one tackle. The change of direction, the body control, something else.
Big gain there by Faison as Love gets the call. Such a great lacrosse tradition here at Notre Dame. Not only is Faison a standout lacrosse player, his brother, younger brother Dylan, is the #1 lacrosse prospect in the country and is headed for Notre Dame as well. Might play football as well. 2nd down and 5. Carr going for the deep one. Down the field. Tried to make a one-handed grab. Was K.K. Smith. Incomplete.
Saw the man-to-man coverage outside, so let's take a shot down the field. This is K.K. Smith. Scored a touchdown earlier. Could only get that left hand up there. You got to be strong at the contested catch. Good job by Nelson. Pinning that right arm to his body, causing the pass breakup.
Another 300-yard gain through the air for Carr. Could have been a lot more if that one had been able to hang on. On 3rd and 5. CJ looking left. Pass complete to Faison. Nice move there to pick up the 1st down.
I love Faison. You know, the whole lacrosse background, get a look right there.
That's Kevin Corrigan, the longest tenured lacrosse coach in the nation. And it's just a great traditional lacrosse player. As we mentioned, Jordan's brother Dylan.
I love those stories you tell, Hicksy, about when they're getting the RV and go up to Long Island from Florida and play a little lacrosse.
Yep.
It's great stuff.
In fact, it was a lacrosse scholarship that Faison had first. He walked onto the football team, and then he later turned that into a football scholarship in short order. And there is Love just busting up the middle for a nice gain. Gain of 7 for Love. You mentioned the RV, so this is a picture of the Faison family at the RV owned by Jordan's grandparents. Costs a lot of money in case you haven't looked into real estate in the Hamptons in the summertime. So they said, we're not going to do that. We're going to drive the RV up, set up shop, give our kids a great opportunity to compete at some high-level lacrosse camps up there. And in the end, turn their kids into some of the best lacrosse players in the country. This is Love.
Those pictures are priceless, and those memories for those guys are priceless. And, you know, think about those stories they have as a family going up there. And like you said, they're creating a great opportunity for themselves playing in these tournaments, but a lot of great memories and a lot of great stories they have for the rest of their lives.
We showed you Kevin Corrigan, the Notre Dame lacrosse coach. His brother, Boo, is the athletic director at NC State, and he is at the game. And, of course, the name Gene Corrigan, very familiar to Notre Dame folks. The late Gene Corrigan was the athletic director here at Notre Dame. Carr going for Raridon. What a catch by the tight end. Gain of 36 as Eli continues to rack up some big yardage.
He's 6'7" and he can run. He creates some separation at the end of the down. He pushes off with that right hand, gets some separation from Vic, and C.J. Carr is right on the money, and they have the pedal down. They want another touchdown.
Raridon's got 109 yards through the air, and Jeremiah Love has his latest touchdown. His 11th of the season, second of the day for Jeremiah Love, set up by a beautiful pass to Raridon.
You make a big play like that, get on the ball quickly and get it snapped. Again, this Notre Dame offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage. Love knows what to do with it. Eli Raridon, he's been big all day long for the Irish.
Has he ever? Leading receiver for the Irish. Pauling's got 105 yards through the air, so Carr's got a couple of receivers with 100+ yards through the air today. As Eric Schmidt comes in with the extra point. Remember, Burnett has been handling those duties for most of it, but he comes in to tack on the latest extra point. Raridon with a beautiful catch there to set up Jeremiah Love. He gets on the doorstep. There's no way he's not getting in. As Notre Dame is blowing this out 36-7, having scored on its last 4 straight possessions and a safety. And with 5:13 left, so remember, USC is here next week against Notre Dame as that rivalry continues. This is Smothers, who just hasn't been able to get much daylight today, but that swarming Notre Dame defense has had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I can't resist the pun. You mentioned Smothers. It looks like he got smothered there, and you said it. They swarmed to the football, and just watch this Notre Dame defense. A lot of hats to the ball. Been talking about setting edges and sprinting to the ball, and that's good defensive football right there. They're smelling the blood.
Penalty in the end there, unsportsmanlike, as Bryce Young did the stare down with Smothers on the turf. And you can see his teammate trying to get him up. Come on, let's not do that. That's going to cost us.
It's a good call.
So the ball taken all the way up to the 40-yard line with that latest penalty. And they give it to Duke Scott. Notre Dame just stopping everything the Wolfpack throws at him. Kingston Viliamoasa again a part of that big surge. And it looks like Notre Dame once again is not going to allow a 100-yard rusher this season.
NC State just handing the ball off and just trying to get out of Dodge here, down 29 with 4 minutes to go, and this Notre Dame defensive front, again, they're smelling some blood.
A couple more sacks for Boubacar Traore, who you saw there. He's got 5.5 for the year. As this Notre Dame defense is looking similar to last year, but just dominated every game. Duke Scott with a minimal game. Speaking of Boubacar, time to look at our player on the rise, brought to you by Hyundai. And this guy, as we've talked about, coming off that injury of last year. Been a full year now since that injury last year, the ACL injury that Boubacar Traore suffered, and we were getting the signs from the coaches that they were telling us Boubacar is looking like he's 100% again, and he's proved it on the field. 3rd and 9. Bailey's got a wide open receiver as the Notre Dame defender fell down. That was Teddy Hoffman. with a clear view of the first down conversion.
Get a chance to throw that fade down the field. Looks like Hobbs just trips down. Tallich comes over and makes the tackle. But talking about Boubacar Traore.
Yeah, Traore's been a force.
Yeah, I mean, this Notre Dame defense has been awfully good these last few weeks. In this day and age in college football, to hold a team to 7 points, 3 weeks in a row, it's hard to do. So credit that guy right there, Chris Ash. But when you got a guy like Traore, what you love about him is his ability to defend the run and his ability to affect the passer. Not many guys can do that, and you can see him getting healthier and healthier. He brings such a spirit to this defensive team.
Second down and 10. This is Duke Scott again. The Notre Dame coaches were telling us about Tackling Tuesday. They call it Tackling Tuesday.
And it's real tackling.
And ever since they went 0-2, they've been emphasizing it even more. They get after it. And Marcus Freeman was telling us, it's almost like kind of watching your child in there. You hope no one gets hurt, but it's just a really tough, physical, fundamentally driven Tackling Tuesday, which has helped this Notre Dame defense get back on track. 2-minute timeout on the way, as NC State will be faced with 3rd and 3 coming up. But Notre Dame on its way to its 4th straight victory to keep its hopes alive of a playoff spot later on in the year. Back here on this gorgeous sunset in the making, touchdown Jesus outside of Notre Dame Stadium. Short yardage here for the Wolfpack. So they're going to go in with their short yardage quarterback again, Will Wilson, who we saw pick up a first down earlier in the game. He's number 10.
He's 230 pounds.
And he's usually next to Darius Johnson on these short yardage situations. So here we go with Big Will, and he was cut short. So he doesn't make them all.
He doesn't.
Bryce Young, who was flagged for that unsportsmanlike just a few minutes ago, was in the surge there of Will Wilson bringing up 4th down.
It's been a great display of tackling by Notre Dame, and you mentioned that Tackling Tuesdays. I mean, they tackle them and they tackle them to the ground, which they don't do a lot in football anymore. And as we get to this 4th down situation, they put the big tight ends in. Hardy and Daniels, each of these guys are 270-plus pounds.
We got a timeout by Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, their first of the half.
Yeah, it was fun listening to you guys, you and the coaches talk about the tackling techniques.
Oh, yeah.
And how you teach it.
You know, it goes back to, the great Dick LeBeau. You remember him, Hall of Fame player and defensive coordinator, just one of the greats in the game. And the guy who literally invented the zone blitz. Right? And you ask him about what the most important thing on defense is, tackling. You ask Monty Kiffin, don't let him throw the ball over your head, and tackle. So the best defenses in the history of this game, tackle. It's such an important basic part of the game, but if you want to play great defense, you got to be a great tackling team. And the points of emphasis that Notre Dame has made since early on in the season to become a better tackling team has made a big difference. They're getting guys to the ground. And the best ones do that. They've done it all day long today.
My head was spinning, Coach, when I heard you guys, you and Chris Ash, talking about, well, sprint together, the hawk tackle, wrap and roll, the python, head in front of the bow.
Same foot, same shoulder.
More than one here. And we've got movement by NC State, it appears.
False start. Offense number 44. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
So a big package included who you mentioned, Cody Hardy. He's the guy that moved prematurely. Doran actually calls Cody Hardy the best blocking tight end he's ever been around. So high praise for Hardy, but he was calling for the penalty there. 5 penalties, 60 yards now for NC State. Backs him up, but that won't change anything. Going for it here, obviously. Hollywood Smothers.
Looks like man-to-man coverage across the board. He's going to take a shot.
Why not? Floating in, and we've got another pick, this time Carson Hobbs. Third interception for Notre Dame. Jared Dawson was on the pressure there at Bailey, which helped Hobbs fall under this floating football.
Yeah, Hobbs in the slot does a good job staying on top of the defender. No real good places to throw the ball there, and good job by Hobbs coming back after they completed the big one on him earlier. Does not go away, makes a good play on the ball. Take advantage of your opportunities at the end of these games. You're going to get more of them.
First INT of the season for Hobbs.
Long day for C.J. Bailey.
Seven interceptions by the Notre Dame defense the last couple of weeks alone. Kenny Minchie has taken over the quarterback duties for Notre Dame, and just in victory formation here. Indiana, by the way, is up 30-20 and has the football in Oregon. So, Coach, that's, if they hang on, that's going to make our game next week even a little bit more to look forward to. That'll be on Peacock.
Pretty darn impressive going out there to that place against that team and knocking them off. Well done.
As we said earlier, Oregon doesn't lose much at home, but maybe Indiana can hang on here. Notre Dame just rolling out the clock here.
Impressive win.
Yep.
Last week, Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, said when it got sticky in the game, we challenged our guy to bite down harder on their mouthpiece and fight through it. I love the line. That's what they did again today. They're building that toughness and callous as they're making a little run here. Well done.
This game was just 10-7 at the half. And it was 10-7 at the half because Noah Burnett just squeaked it across the crossbars from 48 yards out, or else it would have been a tie. Since then, just one Notre Dame possession after another. 29 straight points to win going away.
They ran him out of the building in the second half. That guy had a big part of it.
343 yards through the air for C.J. Carr, 19 of 31, couple of touchdowns, the one interception.
Hixie, they challenged the redshirt freshman to beat him.
That's right.
Right? That's what they did. We're going to stop the run. We're going to challenge number 13 to beat him. And boy, did he respond. A ton of big plays down the field. And that defense they got going, that guy right there, Boubacar Traore, he led that front. They were dominant. Pretty darn impressive. All three phases for Notre Dame showing up. They're on a roll.
All right, so Notre Dame wins it 36-7. Thanks for watching. Next week, it's the Fighting Irish hosting USC right here, Saturday, 7:30 Eastern Time on NBC and Peacock. Tonight, Trojans with a big test, though, as well. They face number 15 Michigan on Big Ten Saturday night. Pre-game coverage is underway only on NBC and Peacock. For our entire team, Jason Garrett, Zora Stevenson, Dan Hicksane. Good night from South Bend.